Hey, what's going on? This is Night Wolf Renegade, and I'm back with another video. I want to talk about something today that been on my mind for quite a while, and I just thought I'd make a video about it. So basically, I'm driving down the freeway, right? And I'm just looking at all the cars, and I'm noticing how every single car on the freeway is a shade of white to black. In between is gray and silver, but out of all the cars, I'll say at least maybe like 90% are white to black, with some shades of like red, and if there are any colors like that, they're very dark red, like dark burgundy, almost looking black. And it just reminded me of how I feel about a certain situation I'm about to get into. And I just said, you know what, let me just make the video right now while it's still fresh on my mind. So I just turned 41. I'm from a era where the things that was being created when I was growing up were extremely good, but I didn't realize how good they were until now, because I have something to compare it to. So basically, when you look at the music, right, for example, because I'm a music guy, right? I used to write my own music. I self-taught myself how to play the piano and learn music theory and things like that. And you know, back then you had to be like very good at music to compete, because music was very good back then. I'm talking about very good. There was no auto-tune, there was no apps to help you sing or write music or make beats for you and come up with tunes and melodies and stuff like that. You had to use this. You had to be creative enough to come up with your own melodies. Copying was looked at as a thing, like, you know, biting was just not, that was out of the question. You couldn't do that. So it was so difficult. But now I look at the music and it's like, I can't even listen to this crap because it's just straight garbage. And I'm not trying to be, you know, I'm not trying to downplay nobody or nothing like that, or rain on somebody's sunshine, but I'm just being real. Like, this music is garbage, man. Everybody sounds like a fucking computer. The beats sound generated, AI generated. It's just every beat sounds the same. All the artists sound the same. Like, it's just crap. Even down to like the TV shows. I'm not really a big TV guy, but every once in a while, you know, I try to find like a nice little show that I could watch just to, you know, take my mind off stuff when I have a little bit of free time. And it's really hard to get into something because it's so corny. Like, in my time, you had to really know how to act. You know, you had to play the character and make you feel like the viewer can get into the story and understand the characters. But now, I don't know if they like doing some kind of freestyle acting, and they got a name for it. Improving. Is it improv acting? Like, the director and the cinematographer comes on the set and says action, and you just make up stuff on the fly. Like, I don't know if that's what's happening, or they're using AI to write the scripts, because the scripts are whack. Everything seemed like it's just made so cheaply and put together so quick to cut down the cost or whatever the case may be. But looking back at what I grew up on, there is no comparison. No comparison. It lacks like just fullness. Like, it don't seem like people are putting in time to really make things. Everybody want a quick turnaround for a quick buck, or to get things out so fast. And I understand there's a lot of competition, because now the average the consumer can actually create things now. I mean, there's a platform or an app or some kind of software that's so affordable that you can just download and you could become the next biggest rapper or singer or whatever the case may be, writer or artist. And now they got things like AI where you don't even gotta, you could even dumb it down even more. You just gotta be a good prompter and a good advertisement. The AI will create something for you. You just gotta advertise it and put it out there. Like, but let's get back to the color thing, right? So when I was coming up, I'm a music guy, right? So I'm gonna stick to the music because that's the best way I can give you guys the examples of what I'm trying to convey here. I like classic rock. I don't really like hard rock. Never was into heavy metal. Classic rock, I love classic rock. Smooth rock, I love that genre, right? I love hip hop. I love R&B. My phone catalog right now consists of all the music in those genres from like the early 80s to like the late 90s, right? Because to me, that was the best time. All of those genres I just named, the way how they dressed, the music videos, everything was full of color. It was so vibrant. It was just fun. It was welcoming. It made you feel like, man, this is like you want to be a part of something like that. But nowadays, you look at these music videos, they're so dark. It seems like they're doing some kind of seance or like you thinking, man, is this a music video or is this like some kind of cult video or something like that? Like, how can you get into something like that? It's depressing, it's demonic. This is not fun. Where's the color? You go to a restaurant, it's dark, you know, it feels cold. It's like, yo, I came here to bring my family out to enjoy a nice cooked meal, you know, out of the home. I didn't plan on coming into some kind of dark cave. Like, it doesn't feel welcoming. It's actually doing the opposite. It's making me want to get out of here. You know, I grew up in the 80s when I was old enough to realize what was happening in the entertainment world and just outside in my neighborhood, being with my friends. I remember the bikes that we used to ride, man, full of color. You know, he had a blue one, she had a red one, I had a green one, she had a purple one, like full of color. You know, our sneakers, we used to wear sneakers with, you know, red and white and black and little yellow, and he might have had blue with yellow. Like, it was colorful. Now you look at all of these, everything is like from white to black. Like, I don't know if I'm bugging. Maybe it's just me, but I don't know. Like, now that I got something to compare this to, it just makes me think about all of these things. I came from an era where the movies were like originals, man. Jason, Freddy Krueger, uh, Arnold Schwarzenegger movies like The Terminator, Keanu Reeves. The list just goes on and on. These movies were so like amazing, like they were good, but now that I'm looking back, it's like, man, I gotta give all praises to the creators of these films, because nowadays everything is just a recreation. It's like a recreation. Like it's like they can't do nothing new. Like, I don't know. Like, and then they're so cheap. They so cheaply put together. There's no direction. The characters don't pull you in. It's like, I don't know. I really don't know. I think the world itself is lacking color. There's something about color that it just invites creativity. It changes the vibe. It changes how you feel. Like, and I'm not meaning like, you know, color like just being like too over color, but I'm just saying like the world just lacks color. You know, I remember when they made the shift, right? And they was talking about it all over the news and other things like that. Like, oh, we're gonna make a shift. There's gonna be we're going from the analog age to the digital age, right? And again, I'm gonna use music because I'm a music guy, and that's the best way I could get my point across. We went from like cassette tapes. Well, we had records first, then we went to tapes. So I'm not that old. I don't know anything about ADAX and nothing like that, but I do know about cassette tapes. I lived through that era. We went to cassette tapes, then we went to CDs. And it just seemed like every transition we made from CDs to MP3s and waveforms, and now we got streaming platforms. It seemed like every transition, the quality just went down and down and down. Not just the quality of the sound of the music, because like I said, it's the warmth and the thickness of the music. Now everything sounds thin and loud. But before, it's the only way I could describe it is the thickness, like the warmth. You know, and now it's like everything's so thin and light, but it's just very loud. And the music just changed. Like no one's playing real instruments anymore. You know, some kid is making beats on Fruity Loops using plugins and stuff like that, like artificial instruments. No one's literally playing a guitar or a bass or a piano or, you know, horns or whatever the case may be. No one's really sitting there singing from their soul. They're using auto-tune and Melodon and all these things to kind of correct the flaws in the voice, and it just makes it sound computerized. And at first it was okay because it was probably like 30% being used, but now it's like 95% being used in everything. And with the emergence of AI, I could just imagine how worse it's gonna get. You know, and that's what really upsets me the most, because it's already bad enough. I can imagine how bad it's gonna be. And along with that, more people can come in. You don't have to have any skills. You don't have to have any creative mind. All you have to do is know how to prompt, and AI will spit out damn near a whole script for you for your next movie. And you can upload it on Tubi or something like that. And you're successful. And I just think that that's not really a good thing. So I lost that creative spirit, because the music that I would make, which really it doesn't, you don't really care who likes your music or whatever, but the music that I would make, it would be for a certain group of people. But I mean, we make music for people to enjoy it. We're not just making music for our own self. We want other people to hear it and get the same joy that we get from making it and hearing it ourselves. So I lost that creative spirit, you know. There are times I still make music here and there, but most people don't get it because they wasn't that music is outdated for them, I guess. I don't know. But just because I love music and I'm not making it anymore doesn't mean that I have to, you know, be subjected to what's being put out. Same thing for movies, same thing for TV shows, artwork, books, anything like that. The world needs more color. That's the message of this video right here. And I hope you understand it's not just about actual color, but it's about, you know, appreciating the art forms, or appreciating just creating something, period. You know, everything's not done only just for the money, because when you incorporate money and business into something, then it's no longer an art form. It's no longer what you originally created it for. It's now a business. And business is basically for money. So anyway, you guys leave something in the comment section for me. How do you feel about this situation? I'll holler at you later. Nightwolf out.